One of the main questions Security Breach left us with was what happened to Bonnie. The internet has been speculating, theorising and researching. So far, we're divided. I'm only here to make that divide wider. There isn't one person I've seen share the same theory as I, so let's give you insight on what I think went down in the Pizzaplex. The main clues to solving the mystery of Bonnie's whereabouts lie in the messages you find in the duffel bags spread around the Pizzaplex. These messages give great insight and are mostly all we have to go off. Without these messages, we probably wouldn't think Bonnie was missing, because the only other trace of him is Bonnie Ball. So let's overanalyze the heck out of these messages. The understudy management report states, with Bonnie out of commission, we are making Monty the new bass player. Parts and Services has already done the proper adjustments. This could be a good thing. Monty could be even more popular than Bonnie. End quote. I don't know about you, but the phrase out of commission seems very vague to me. Out of commission simply means not in service, so Bonnie isn't available to who I'm assuming is the general public. The customers, which you'd automatically guess means he's broken, or they're no longer using him and are throwing him out, but that's just one way to look at things. Out of commission could be sarcastic. He is still in service, just away from the public eye, or sent to the pizzeria, or the character Bonnie is removed, but his parts are being reused. This phrase is followed by, we are making Monty the new bass player. I find it interesting how they've worded this. Normally someone might say Monty will be the new bass player, but they've chosen to use the verb making, which implies Monty doesn't just become the bass player, he is made into the bass player. Monty wasn't an animatronic before this, he was a character brought alive through passing words, so they had to build a new expensive animatronic to play the role which already had an animatronic perfectly suited for? In addition to this, Parts and Services has already done the proper adjustments. Doesn't make sense if they are building a new animatronic. Parts and Services is for repairs and upgrades. It shouldn't have the facilities or expertise to build a whole new robot. Furthermore, they've done adjustments to what? Monty? He's not engineered, he's adjusted from something else. This could be a good thing. Sounds like the writer is trying to reassure themselves. It's written in such a way like it's implying that Monty isn't an addition, he's a change. Monty could be even more popular than Bonnie, creates an impression that Monty and Bonnie are the same. Well, obviously they're both bass players, but it also feels like a dramatic irony from the writer's point of view. There's something more going on, and the use of these abrupt short sentences creates an almost sinister atmosphere. The Monty Mischief Errant Behaviour Report states, Monty didn't show up for the main stage performance again. We found him in the same place we always do. The cat walks over Monty Golf. We can't have a repeat of last month. Someone hit the hole-in-one and the hurricane bucket knocked him down. Both legs are broken and required emergency parts and services work. End quote. Monty didn't show up again suggests Monty often disobeys instructions and goes off on his own a lot. This was found in the same place the catwalks, which oversee Monty Golf. Does this mean he was watching something, waiting for something? This is also where he appears in the game when Gregory is trying to decommission him. But the part I really want to talk about is both legs are broken and required emergency parts and service work. This doesn't sound right. He only got knocked down. Monty is the newest animatronic out of a very robust set of animatronics. Something this small shouldn't have been able to cause this much damage, unless his parts aren't really that new and have been reused. Another suspicious occurrence is Parts and Services is for general maintenance. Surely they wouldn't have the parts for immediate emergency repairs, especially if his legs are completely broken. This implies one of two things. Either this type of situation happened before and they're just being prepared, or his parts are the same parts from an older model for which they would have these types of parts for if it were there longer and was older. The retheme management report states, the bowling alley needs a retheme. Where most of the Bonnie art was removed, kids keep asking, where's Bonnie? Do we have an officially approved response? End quote. The bowling alley needs a retheme. Could that be parallelism? Most of the Bonnie art has been removed. Could be interpreted as, most of Bonnie has been hidden. Obviously, do we have an officially approved response means something happened that the company can't talk about, or something happened that the kids can't know about because it would ruin the magic and they would lose customers. The missing security report states, 12:24 a.m. Bonnie is seen leaving his green room in Rockstar Row heading east towards the atrium. 2:40 a.m. Bonnie enters the East Arcade. 4:12 a.m. Bonnie enters Monty Golf. End quote. This whole message tells us that Bonnie likes to move around and he disobeys instructions. Bonnie enters Monty Golf in the middle of the night, but what reason could he have for going there? What connection does he have with that place? Or are the game developers trying to indicate a connection between Bonnie and Monty? The no flash photography warning states, no flash photography. Items will be confiscated and kept in Monty Golf security office. End quote. The no flash photography rule and the confiscated items being kept in Monty Golf seems to signify that they're kept there as Monty is the one animatronic who isn't affected by the fast cam because of his shades, so if anything accidentally flashed then he wouldn't be affected. Also, wouldn't it be convenient to add sunglasses to an animatronic who's in there often like they learnt from the last one? all the contraband is hoarded in Monty Golf, so if anyone was looking for something that was stolen or something dangerous, then that's where they could go. The Monty upgrade maintenance log states, Monty, Montgomery's claws upgrades allow him to play the bass. Following performances, he mostly uses them to cause damage. Defense repairs are getting costly. And quote, Montgomery's claw upgrades imply that these claws are an upgrade and he didn't have them before. But he's a crocodile, why wouldn't he be built with them, especially since they allow him to play bass? Surely his hands and bass would be compatible, and the new guitar they probably made especially for him should be played by him straight away. Unless they use an old set of hands, he mostly uses them to cause damage. Again, he disobeys orders and does as he pleases. Also, this makes it quite clear that he's aggressive. So, what am I getting at here? I think you can probably tell that I'm trying to say that Bonnie's endoskeleton or parts were used to create Monty. Therefore, whichever poor child's soul was trapped in there is now inside Monty, so they're basically the same person. Throughout all the FNAF games, Bonnie has been the most aggressive animatronic, attacking first and the most often. This is the main indicator of a personality trait we get for him, so Monty sharing that personality trait is too much of a coincidence to not have a backstory. As we know, Scott doesn't do coincidences, and I assume neither does Steelwall. They're both aggressive because they're the same. Bonnie is out of commission because his design is no longer there, but the rest of him is. The kids just can't know that because it would ruin the magic. Fantasy and fun come to life at the Pizzaplex, and if they knew the mechanics behind it, obviously they're going to tell their parents not to take them anymore. But why do they need to cover Bonnie up, pretend he's someone new? To avoid lawsuits. It seems implied that Bonnie did something bad, although it's not clear what. He would roam around the Pizzaplex, something we know Monty also does, and end up at the Monty Golf, where the confiscated items were hidden. Now, I'm not saying this is the next Bite of 87, but he did something that he shouldn't, and there were witnesses. If Bonnie was going to the security office where anything that flashes might go off, then he probably had to get repairs for that reason. So if they were giving him a makeover, they'd want to give him something to stop the constant need for repairs, because they can't seem to stop him from entering Monty Golf. Which brings me to why they chose to transform Bonnie into Monty. Obviously they had Monty Golf, so he was always a big contender, but they have El Chip's restaurant. Why couldn't we have seen a Glamrock El Chip? Because Bonnie was always entering Monty Golf. If he was going to go there constantly, then they may as well give him a reason to stay there. An animatronic with claws would be perfect to play bass, except they didn't have his claws straight away because Monty had Bonnie's hands, which were incompatible with his new guitar. This is my take on the Bonnie mystery. Personally, I find the whole Monty killed Bonnie theory a bit far-fetched, even for FNAF, because it has too many plot holes. Leave any criticisms or developments in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye!